Tomorrow you're going to have to introduce yourself. Are you a bit worried about having to do that?
Yes, having to go introduce myself to your family is definitely getting my heart rate up. This will be my first time ever talking with either of your parents, and it will all be face to face. But my parents are really looking forward to this event when it happens.
I sort of feel bad for having your parents come all the way out here to come and see my family.
Well, I'm their only daughter who is about to get married and join a new family, so of course they'd want to be with me to see your family.
But aren't the two of them busy with work and things like that back home?
I'm sure that they have a lot going on right now, but they can hand that work off to others while they're gone. But anyway, they both really love you a lot, and so they're looking forward to taking the time off of work to come see you. I really hope that both my parents and yours will become close with one another.
Well, about that, Ellen. I have a feeling that my dad will say some pretty rude things about your family.
What? What do you mean he'll say some rude things about my family?
I haven't really told you about this directly yet, but my dad is the owner of a five-star hotel, okay?
You did tell me that he has a lot of relations with a lot of hotels across the US, but you never mentioned that he owned a 5-star hotel himself. Is he the owner of the hotel that we're all meeting at tomorrow?
That will be his hotel. But because of his position, he tends to think that he is in a place to look down on others depending on the kind of work they do. He's a very well-off man, my dad. I really hope for him not to say anything rude to any of you guys tomorrow, but...
You don't have to be worried about any of that, Grayson. I think all of our parents, just knowing that you and I make each other very happy and want to become married, should help them all become close to each other. And both my parents and I aren't really worried about what kind of things your dad will have to say about us.
And I'm really thankful that you'd say that, but I'm still a bit worried about him. If nothing major happens, that would be great.
You're getting too worked up over this. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, and so is my family.
I was given your phone number by Grayson. This would be his father, Michael.
So you're Grayson's dad, then? Well, it's so nice to finally have a chance to talk with you. I'm Ellen. I'm really looking forward to meeting both you and your wife tomorrow when we all go out to eat together.
I'm going to be quick about asking this, but are you after my son's money?
Excuse me? I would never be after anything of Grayson's besides his love.
What makes you think I'm going to believe that from you? I'm sure by now you are aware that I own a very high-class hotel, where we'll all be meeting tomorrow, correct?
I've never really been interested in anything Grayson's family has, like money and properties. And I only learned about you owning such a nice hotel earlier today from him. So that should be enough for you to believe that I'm not after any of your guys' money in this marriage.
I wonder about that, Ellen.
What do you mean?
I'm sure that you looked into all sorts of things regarding my son before you went and stole his heart. But to me, seeing a man as elite as my son wanting to marry some plain Jane is all too suspicious to me. Tell me, Ellen, what does your family do for a living? Are they on the same level as my family?
My parents are both very well-known organic farmers.
What? They're farmers?
Yes. They're both well known for running a farm that doesn't use anything like pesticides or herbicides and wants to remain completely organic. And as of right now, the produce they both grow is harvested and shipped all over the country to be used in restaurants and hotels.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. To think that my elite son would ever want to marry someone whose parents are both farmers is just disgusting to me. Aren't farmers all supposed to be a part of the lowest level of this society?
What? What do you mean by that?
Right now, the chances of tomorrow's meeting between my wife and I, and your family being canceled are very high. There is no way I'm going to allow a couple of dirty farmers to sit at a dinner table across from my family. Why did my son never explain any of this to me sooner? About how you're the child of a couple of worthless farmers. All of you must love to roll around in the mud like pigs.
Could you just calm down for one moment? What you're saying about my family is very rude, as well as clearly discriminating. Would you please take all of that back right now?
Why would I ever want to take back what I've said about you all? Everything I've said is true. But what does it matter now? Tomorrow I'll make my feelings towards you all very well known in front of your family. You will all understand after tomorrow just the kind of man I am and the position that I hold about you.
Michael, if you do anything that is either rude or embarrassing in front of my family, I will not forgive you. And from there, you will begin to regret ever doing anything so rash. Now, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's gathering with everyone.
Did that help you understand my feelings? You all look great with all those rotten vegetables all thrown over top of you. Did you really think you could come into my hotel and eat the same beautiful and delicious meal as the rest of my family?
So you threw all those rotten vegetables on my parents and I just because I said those two were farmers? This is beyond saddening for both my parents and I. I can't even believe that you'd waste decent produce doing something like that. And the fact that you'd go as far as to throw them all over us when we're in our nice clothes, it's ridiculous, Michael.
Shut up, Ellen. I want you to stop talking to me like that and get back in line. Did any of you really think that I'd let my son marry the child of two disgusting pigs?
So you're going to keep going off about how my family and I aren't good enough for you and your family? Well, this will be unfortunate news for you, but you're finished.
I'm finished with? The only thing that's finished with today is a relationship you have with my son. I will not be allowing you anywhere near him again, and you can kiss whatever hopes you had of marrying him goodbye. I'm laughing, thinking about a scenario where I'd let my son marry a farmer girl. All you guys are good for is getting married to other rotten produce of your kind, so get lost.
Well, you'd better not have any regrets about this then.
You think I'd ever regret watching some filthy pigs get kicked out of my hotel?
Well, if you're not going to regret it, then we'll be on our way. And along with that, I'll do as you've said and leave your son, even though I love him so much and still hold his engagement ring. But know this. The moment my family walks away from here, you will begin to understand just how royally you screwed up today.
What was that? I'll see how royally I screwed up. You think that me getting some pigs out of my life that only wanted my family's money was wrong with me? There's no way on earth that I'm the one that screwed up. Now, can we stop with all of this needless talk and be on our ways? All you are now is a loser, and I don't have time to listen to you complain about it any longer.
Michael, are you even aware that your hotel's very high-end restaurant is supplied produce by my parents' farm?
What?
Well, now my parents are planning to end the contract that your hotel and them created. After how incredibly rude you were to all of us today, my parents have no choice but to stop doing business with you. And you will never be able to obtain the kind of high-quality produce that my family produces again.
What the hell are you talking about? You're telling me that your parents are the ones that supply my hotel with produce?
Well, when it comes to that high-end restaurant of yours, the only reason it's considered high-end is because it's well known that they're using our produce. The kind of produce that is 100% organic with zero chemicals introduced to them. Did you forget that the dishes that are made in your restaurant are so popular? Don't tell me that you've never talked with whoever you've put in charge of the restaurant about how important our produce is to him. Well, at this point, there's no point in going to speak with him because you're finished. Your restaurant will no longer be able to use our produce. I wish you luck finding another farm like ours that'll have the same level of quality as us to buy produce from.
Excuse me? I never heard anything about how your family is the one supplying my restaurant. I'll go have a word with my man in charge soon to see if you're telling the truth. But do you really stand by saying that your family has been the one selling produce to my restaurant? Why would you have never said that to me before?
We didn't have the time to tell you today because the moment we moved to sit at the table, you were having rotten vegetables thrown at us. Anyway, I'm sure that things will become a bit more difficult for you here soon, but best of luck.
Difficult for me? Why am I going to be the one living in a more difficult situation?
Well, because my parents are planning to spread the news about what you've done today to other farmers in the area. And that might lead to finding another farmer to supply your restaurant becoming near impossible. And even if you are to find another family to work with, they're most likely not going to have the same quality of produce as my family has. No matter how you try and fix things, this is going to lead to your hotel taking a massive blow to its reputation.
What? Are you sure? I'm not going to let something like that happen. If you're right about being the one supplying my hotel, it won't even matter to me anyway. All you farmers are poor, and so I'll find someone else who would be glad to accept my money and make produce to my restaurant's liking.
Well then, starting today, we will no longer be sending anything else to your hotel. Good luck from now on, you gross owner of a soon-to-be one-star hotel.
Excuse me, Ellen. Would you be kind enough to get your parents and bring them back out here to come meet with me? I'm very sorry about what happened a few days ago. I'd like for them to come and see me in person so that I may apologize for all of that.
They will not be coming out to see you again.
Why won't they? I'm asking you for this favor directly. Can you please at least listen to what I have to say about what's been happening?
I don't want to hear anything about what troubles you have now, and neither do my parents. No matter how many times you try to call and text me, nothing will change.
But I'm the owner of 5-Star Hotel, gosh dang it.
And so what, Michael? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if your title as a 5-star hotel owner changes soon. Right now, all that's happened at your hotel has become a hot topic on the news and online.
Shut up. Something like this was never supposed to happen to me and my hotel.
It's funny how after my family stopped sending your restaurant the produce it needed, you made a deal with another farmer and then faked, claiming that all his produce was organic. And following that claim, you had customers complaining about the flavor of them, and soon an investigation and checkup were done at the restaurant, where the officials found you were lying and shut the place down, right? And since this was all happening at a 5-star hotel with that high-end restaurant, the news spread like wildfire.
Why are you laughing about all this? Right now, my family and I are in a very tough spot. Everyone has begun to lose faith in my hotel and restaurant, and it's led to a snowball of problems that are all taking me down with them. This isn't just about that restaurant, as this has all begun to affect the whole hotel as of now. Even just today, I've had over half of my guests call and cancel their reservations for the place. If things continue as they have been these past few days, my hotel will go under. Why is this all happening to someone like me?
You're asking that like you have no idea what you've done. I'm telling you right now that this is all due to the way you treated my family.
How about I let you marry my son now? Will that make you happy? Come back here and let him ask you for your hand in marriage again.
Even if he were to ask me that right now without you asking me to go to him, I don't have it in me anymore to become your daughter-in-law. I'm not willing to join a family that thinks it's even near okay to waste food like you all did a few days ago.
But you can't be serious about throwing away your chances with my family that easily, right?
By the way, after what had happened at your hotel that day, your son came to us a little bit later and got on his hands and knees to apologize to all of us.
What? Why?
Because he felt sorry for what you and your wife did and wanted to fix things between us, which we did.
Huh?
But the one thing I asked from him in making things right between us again is that he cut ties with you. So I think that you'll never be seeing either one of us ever again, Michael.
That brat went ahead and did all of that behind my back without my permission? I never said that was okay.
Can you tell me why our relationship needs your permission to happen? At first, the both of us knew that you'd be a handful when we had my parents come to town to see you all, but after what you'd done, you changed things for us. We were never going to ask your permission in the first place, but now, instead of us just waiting for you to cool down a bit before our marriage, we're going to be cutting ties with you. And not just your son and I, but my parents as well plan to do the same.
Please do not say things like that about me. If things aren't done about this whole situation soon, my hotel is seriously going to be at risk of going under. Can you please give me some kind of chance to bring my hotel and restaurant back from near death? If we don't take any action now, it'll be the end for my family and I.
What? I have no idea what you're going on about right now, old man.
Huh?
Whatever you're going on about right now seems to only be centered around you, and it's absolutely annoying. All of that has nothing to do with anything regarding me or your own son, Michael. Anyway, there's no talking your way out of the mess you've made, so just deal with it. If you really want to find a way to save that hotel from falling into ruin, then maybe it's time you quit your job as the owner and let someone competent take it over.
You think I'd leave my position as the owner of this hotel? I'm the one that built this place from the bottom up.
And I am well aware of that. But it's because of the childish attitude you had towards my family that things ended up this way, right? Maybe, had you been a bit more level-headed about things, there wouldn't be this whole mess surrounding your company. I think it's really time that you think about handing that hotel off to a new owner and retire.
But if I hand this place off, then I'll no longer be able to call myself the owner. I am not going to allow something like that to happen. And none of this is my fault because you are the ones that stopped sending me any of your produce.
I told you that we were going to be canceling the contract. I don't care that you don't like what happened or that you didn't approve of it. This all has nothing to do with me now, so you go and fix all this on your own. I think your safest bet right now is to hand the ownership of that hotel over to your son, and then leave us alone for the rest of your life. That should be enough to satisfy all parties involved in this, like your loyal customers and those that hold shares in the hotel.
That's a good point. I can just hand the hotel and restaurant over to my son to own. Then, people will no longer associate the place with me and everything will go back to normal. I think that would be a great idea. And even though the hotel will technically be owned by my son, I'll be behind the scenes still running things as usual without anyone having to know. That way, I won't have to worry about my son messing anything up with the hotel and its complex structuring.
What are you talking about? The only one that's messed things up so far has been you.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure how many more times I'll have to say this, but Grayson has cut ties with you. And as for my family and their business, they have no plans of working together with you anymore, and never will again. And if you continue to try and be involved with all of us, I'm not going to marry your son. Are you still not aware that we all want you to get lost? To everyone at the hotel and to everyone in this family, all you are is in the way.
I never thought I'd be getting told that by someone like you. You were really going to regret all of this. If you do not help me out of this, I'll make you suffer alongside with me.
The only one that's regretting anything right now is you yourself. And you coming to beg for my and my family's help now is never going to work out for you. You are the one that led your hotel to its downfall, and you're going to have to find a way to save it now. You tightened that knot around your neck yourself, and now all you can do is either make the jump or untie said knot. So now, you go off and make that choice yourself, without trying to get any of us involved. But from my view, just give that hotel to your son, and then get the hell out of our faces, you useless old man. After everything that had happened, things only became worse for Michael, as more problems from his past arose and he was taken into custody because of them. He tried his hardest to run from all the problems he'd created in his past, but there's only so far that you can run from your past, and now he's no longer in the position to be running any sort of hotel. For the next couple of years, Michael will now be serving some time behind bars, and by the time he's out of there, he'll be old enough where he'll lack the energy to come find us again. Grayson was then given the rights to his dad's hotel, and he immediately changed the name of it, as well as the leadership within it, so that it would no longer hold the shame of its past. Soon after the reopening of the new hotel, Grayson and Ellen got married and worked together with the help of her parents to make an even better hotel, where Ellen's parents' produce is the spotlight of it all. And following all of this, there was never any word from Michael ever again, and this was a huge plus for everyone who knew him. The one man that was in the way of everyone was now only a distant memory and would never be coming back to harass anyone ever again.